That was a lot less painful than what I thought. In actual fact, the hardest part was, like I said, putting them, getting it in here. But I just found that getting the two parts in like this, and then setting it into there, and then just like I showed you, just gently wiggling that third one on to get it all into place, but not doing it up too tight, just to make sure that everything was lined up. These markers were lined up, as you can see. Look, they should be absolutely smack on this. And then yeah, and that was it. I couldn't do it the way Maarten showed in the video. It was just too fiddly, just kept falling apart. It was like, oh. But I got quite a bit of patience, so no, I just found that way was easier. So yeah, look, I'm going to do it again. So I've taken sort of 8.5 centimeters. Now I want to make this pretty flat, so I've got this big piece of wood here. It's the only way I can actually do this. And I'd probably be better doing it off on my other table as well, but it doesn't have to be, when it wants to be as good as you can get, it's just 2 ticks. Okay, that's only because this one's got some paper on it, so it's not probably as good as what it could be. So now I want to get rid of half of this, because that's the half we're going to be building. At least that much, as you can see, needs to come off. So I'm going to use this to cut on, because I was cutting on the other table. All I'm doing is just cutting off this outer sheath at this minute in time. I'm going to split, no I won't, I'll just cut these bits out. Oh, well, I just had this actually. Just cut that off. So you've got enough there to do that. Now I'm going to take the rest of this off as well. So I've got this that I can put back on afterwards, and I can neaten up that end. Before I put it back on, I'm just going to roll this out again. So when you're just cutting through these ends, you just got to be careful not to go through that inner core, you know, with your Stanley or whatever it is you're using. I've used the Stanley because it's all I've got. Hopefully should just be able to cut that off. I've not quite gone through far enough, it seems. It's probably not going to be that easy for you to see what I'm doing. Probably do with taking the wire out of the phone, I'm a bit worried about. There you go, that's one bit. I've already cut part way through these anyway. It's just a case of keep going around. I'm just gonna straighten that out again. Really, I suppose I should just straighten it out now rather than before. Okay, so that's that straight. So that's pretty much, I'd say, near enough the hardest part out of the way. So I've got our 3 plates. So the first one is going to go on like that, and because this is already part done, here's a case of just putting that in there, lining it up with its holes. Just getting it lined up with its holes, look. And then putting the other one on and lining that up with a hole. I'll show you how I did that. It is a little bit fiddly. It's not the easiest thing to do. But this is easier than trying to do the three of them. Trying to keep those 3 plates in place is a right chore. So there we go. Which is probably the easiest way, actually, just putting that one plate in and then putting this down through the middle. Set the bottom piece on. This was really super tight as well. So what I've done is I've put it in and out, in and out, in and out of these slots, not to put any real play on it, but just enough to make putting this an easy, and the shortest end can go in here. That's it. And it's just a case of soldering it. And get that first one done. Now these are pretty good antennas. People keep asking me about what I think is the best antennas, right? And I can't look. I don't really know a great deal about this apart from I read a bit online and I've watched quite a few videos, Project Blue Falcon, people like that who are making these antennas. And not these particular ones, but he makes his own antennas. It's the measurements. I can't remember offhand, 12.92 or 12.93. So all you got to do is have for that outer on that little simple thing that I did. That's why it wasn't a very big feat or anything like that. It's just a case of knowing the measurement. And with this, it's just a case of putting this kit together. Now Maarten's done a step-by-step tutorial, like I say. So I'm not trying to show anybody anything. I'm just showing you how easy it is for me. This is the first time I've done this. This is the first time I've worked with this sort of thing. This is my first one. I think that looks pretty good for my first one. And when I have this one, that'll be the pair, and I'll go out tomorrow with them and give them a blast and see what they're like. So by no means, I'm not trying to tell anybody, you know, how to suck an egg here or anything like that. I'm just showing you that it's not that difficult to do this. If I can do it as a complete noob, and you were thinking to yourself, hey, I wonder if I can do it. It's alright, the professionals or the guys who've been doing it for a long time to go, yeah, you can do this. But if I can do this as a complete noob, then so can you guys. As long as you've got a soldering iron, a bit of patience. Now I've turned my soldering iron up to do this. Because I understand it's easier. Now look, make sure it's nicely sat on there. Because the main thing about this is those plates. Good with a spot on between them. So that looks a pretty good solder. That looks okay. I might just put a little tiny bit more on there though, because it's probably the best time to do this. Because there is like a gap, you know, between the top part of the plate and the bottom. You see how it moves, look. And I just want to make sure that it goes through that nicely. That's going to be well and truly held in place, and I can see a little bit of solder up there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that in there, but there's a little tiny bit of solder down there, so I'm happy that's gone through. Yep. Okay. So now it's the case. I'm just going to let that cool for a very short period of time, and then we're going to get the other plates on. And that idea is with this is that you have the writing bit facing away from the bottom plate, so that blank side's going to go. And then just line up the markers against the markers on here. And just a little gentle bit by bit push off the jig. I've put this here just to make it a better height for me, so I can see. I'll do the same thing here. Take this off just bit by bit. There we go. And now I'm going to use this because I'm going to solder the top of there. I'm going to cut that off first. And just leave. I think it says like about half mil to a mil or something, but just a little tiny bit, just enough to get a bit of solder onto. There we go, that's that top plate. That's the top plate. Okay, let's get these other ones on. Now this is the trickiest bit I found. Just trying to do this. So I'll just pop that there for a second. I'll put two in here. This is the way I found was the easiest way for me to do it. It's still fiddly, but it's just not as fiddly. Or at least that's how I found it anyway. You may not find it the same. If you were to build these, this is basically what I'm going to do. Get that in there. So that goes into place, there we go. So there's, this is what I mean about it's going to be fiddly. So I'll just do this so I can line it up and see it myself. That's it. And with all three of them in the right place, it sort of lines up nice. As hopefully you can see. I'm going to turn it back this way so I can. I'm the one who's got to be able to see it here. So then this is the little wiggly bit. Okay, so I've got the top plate in, I've got the second plate and the third plate. It's just about to go in. It all splayed out a little tiny bit. But there we go. Now while I've got that like that, and just about how I want it, but not tightened, I've now got to adjust these markers. I don't know if you can see them, but just trying to show you one way you can see it quite definitely. Well, if I turn this one anyway, I'm gonna try and turn it now without turning the whole thing. And then you can see that hopefully you're able to see that these two markers here, even if you can't see, you just have to take my word for it, because I don't really want to let go of this. Just going to make sure that they're pretty much perfect. That's how I want it to be. Before I put that other part of the jig on. I'm hoping this is all going to stay in place now as I do this, because when I did it on the other one it didn't quite stay in place. Everything got moved slightly. And it has, it's knocked them all about, look, that's, if I move that there, in actual fact that one seemed a lot easier to move than that plate. Actually feels like it's a different size then. Because the other one, when that was in, maybe it's because that's not fully down. Oh, okay, that's pretty tight now. That's actually better. So, but look, you can see there's a bit of movement on that one. You can see that marker there and that marker there at the top. We're going to get them perfect and then solder that. Check on the other ones as well. Just make sure everything is spot on. This will adjust. This will make a difference. The tuning. Looks spot on, that looks good. Okay, so I think we can give that a bit of a solder now. Just hope it doesn't move while I do it. Okay, move that round a bit. And again I want to see it sort of come through the bottom a bit here, between those two plates. Just because I can see the one on the shop bought ones, what it's like. beautiful. I'm going to put just a little bit more solder on that side so it's equal from the top down in that bit of gap to this part down towards that gap as well. Just try and make it look nice and equal. It's got the same amount of solder. So mine says take your time, you know. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to do this this other bit now. In actual fact, getting this one assembled in the jig was a lot easier than doing that first one. That's because I had to experiment first. I was trying to do it the way Maarten shows it. Of course, he's used to doing it his way and he's got that little method sorted out, not a problem. With me, I couldn't quite get that. But this way I've just done it. It's a lot easier for me. So, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like coming through the bottom a bit, so it's got a nice bit there. Nice at the top, good. So I'm just going to leave that to cool off a little bit. And this time, yeah, I'm going to put it directly onto this length, so I'm going to just chop off the end of that nice and neat. So I can go back across here. Black and blue. Just twist this on. Hopefully that's enough. I've left it. I could have probably left it actually a little bit extra on the end, but it doesn't make any difference. Now what I can't do is you don't want to put the SMA on now. You've got to take this bottom part off first, otherwise you'll never get this bottom part of the jig off. All this is covered in Maarten's video. I'm not saying anything new. I'm not saying anything that Maarten's missed out or anything like that. It's all covered in this video. The only difference I'm doing here is just giving you a little bit of verbal as we're going on. So we've got our RG402 SMA and a pin. This is what I get now, working out how long to put these pins. So now I've got to take off quite a chunk off that. A little bit more. So a quick little inspection just to make sure that there's none of this outer possibly gonna touch the inner at all or have any solder run off, so I'm just gonna pull that out at the edges. Now you may not have to do that, I'm just doing it because I don't want to have to try and sort out a problem once this is done. Oh, that's fine. Now I know there's guys out there, professionals, probably don't do it like this, but this isn't a professional thing, this is just me getting on doing mine. Dip my heat shrink on first. Oh, well, actually I'll do this bit first. So there's a little tiny hole in these pins. I'm just going to drop a bit of solder into that. Move it's gone, here it is. Drop a bit of solder into that. And I'm just using my standard solder as well. This is 0.3 I think, 0.5 sorry. 60/40. I've just made a bit of a mess of it, so I'll just take off a bit of that solder. Not too much, it's up here. There we go. Bead there. Just doing that just to make sure it goes into the hole properly. And just before I do that, I'm just going to do a quick continuity test. Pretty convinced it's all going to be okay, but it's better to do it now than between the outer and the inner. Okay, so good. No beeping, beeping, no beeping. Okay, right. So I want to put my little bit of heat shrink on. Whatever I put that, there's a bit of there. Like this. Which one's the nicest side? That one, so that can be the bit that's at the top. And that's it. Actually put a bit at the top and a bit at the bottom, couldn't I? No, I'll just leave the top the way it is. Because when I take this off, I'll be able to push that up a bit more. In actual fact, I think I'm going to take it off now, just for that bit of clarity on that. I just have to be careful. I have to be careful with them anyway, so. Just twist this up. There we go. Just wanted to push that all the way up to the top there. Even when I was just pressing down, I wasn't actually really putting any force. I was just trying to see if, just by using my nails on the edge, not actually putting any pressure around the edge, see if I could just push it down, and it did go down. I might need a bigger bit of heat shrink for that, but we'll see. I'll just stick this on the end and see if it's going to cover between there and there. I'll stick a little bit bigger heat shrink. Waste not, want not. there, so that pin's sticking through where it should be. Okay, let's there's a little hole in there. Just gonna stick some solder in there. Okay, so that's in the hole. Just going to get some in between. Case and the coax. There we go. All done. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now this will be the one that goes on my controller, transmitter, transceiver, whatever it is you want to call it. Just let that cool down a little bit before I try sliding the heat shrink across the top, and then we'll warm that up. That'll be it. That's the pair. Just look at them line-up markings. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can see those. I'm hoping you can. Absolutely spot on. That's where I bought it from, Farview, in the United States. Thank you very much, guys. I can't believe how quick they got out here. They I thought it was going to be waiting 2 weeks, and it's not. It's probably been less than a week. Probably less than a week. So what, that's cooling down. Let me just tin the end of my tip. Just turn that back on to its normal setting. Okay, well. I'm going to use their heat gun. I don't like using that. The lighter leaves like marks, and I don't like that. As far as it will go, you can still spin round it. It's only on 100 degrees this. And there we go. And just, you can always put it back in its jig if I'm a little bit worried that it's going out, but I'm not. So I got one for the controller, it'll be this one. And I got one for the back of the quad, this one. Ba-bam. Relatively painless, that was. Relatively painless. Look at that, look, it just fits straight back in nicely. I'll put those two in there. So they're nicely sat in, nice and snug. Probably better if I get them the right way around. Perfect. That just sits in there perfect. So all the way around. Brilliant. Okay, well happy. Well happy. I'll stick this jig into its own special little bag and put it into a proper little box. It just can't get damaged because I got the left-hand circular polarized as well. But I'm gonna leave them for now, and these are what I'm gonna try out tomorrow and do a little bit of test, because these version 2s, revision B, sorry. Ta-da! Oh, you got this far. Cheers for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, this isn't a tutorial or anything. This is just me building it. If anything, I'm just showing that, you know, as a layperson, you can grab hold of one of these little kits. It's not particularly painful, as long as you've got some of this RG402 coax, and you've got the SMA connectors for the coax, RG402 SMA connectors. With that rest of the kit that comes through, you went on your way to making your own pagodas. Of course with the soldering iron and some solder.